We find ourselves at an intriguing crossroads of history, standing witness to a geopolitical chess game that unfolds with every passing day. This game is played not on a wooden board, but across the vast landscapes of nations and continents where oil flows like blood in the veins of modern civilization. And who are the players, you might ask? They are none other than China, Iran, the United States, and the European Union. Let us focus our attention on a recent phenomenon that has captured the world's attention: the tripling of Iran's oil trade with China in just 3 years. What does this mean for the global stage? Why does this matter to you and me? Allow me to walk you through this fascinating and intricate game of strategy and diplomacy. The stage was set when the United States, under the pretext of curbing Iran's nuclear ambitions, imposed sanctions on the Islamic Republic. The aim was to suffocate Iran's economy, to stifle its lifeblood, which is its oil trade. But a door once closed opened another, and standing ready to fill the gap was China. The Middle Kingdom swiftly stood with Iran, extending a helping hand in its time of need. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. Now, let's begin. Why would China do this? What were the stakes? I'll pause here to ask a question, not just for reflection, but to sharpen our understanding. Why do sanctions often fail to achieve their intended purpose? It's a complex question, isn't it? The answer lies in the interplay of geopolitics and economics. Sanctions can indeed cripple an economy, but they also create opportunities for others to step in. In this case, China saw an opportunity to not only fuel its ever-hungry industries, but also to forge a new alliance, to make a friend in need, and to expand its sphere of influence. But it was not just about oil. It was a play of grand strategy. China's relationship with nations sanctioned by the U.S., like Iran and Russia, has caused concern in the West. It's about building alliances, creating bonds that cannot be broken, and cultivating influence that transcends mere power. In this context, the numbers tell a compelling story. In the last 3 years, Iran's oil shipments to China have grown from 324,000 barrels per day in 2020 to an astonishing 1.1 million barrels per day in 2023. These numbers matter not just to China and Iran, but also to the U.S. and the U.S. and the E.U. And here's why. With this increase in oil trade, Iran's economy is recovering, and the U.S.'s plan to contain it is faltering. The U.S. found itself in a difficult position. It had hoped to diminish Iran's economic power, but instead found that China was filling the void, and Iran's economy was not only surviving, but thriving. A goal to weaken Iran's economy had turned into a potential threat to U.S. dollar dominance. But the chessboard was more complex than this bilateral trade relationship between China and Iran. Saudi Arabia, a longtime ally of the U.S. and a rival of Iran, was another piece in this puzzle. The fractured relationship between Iran and Saudi Arabia had divided the Middle East, creating an opportunity for the U.S. to exploit individual nations. China, recognizing the importance of a united Middle East, played a masterful move. By ending the conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia, it sought to create a strong united force that could challenge U.S. influence. A united Middle East, aligned with China, could indeed become a formidable power. These moves and countermoves between China, Iran, the U.S., and other global actors raise questions that echo in the corridors of power and resonate in our daily lives. Can the U.S. stop the growing trade between Iran and China? Is the U.S. losing its grip on global leadership? What role will the EU play in this unfolding drama? We are witnessing the shaping of a new global order, a reshuffling of alliances, and a redefinition of power dynamics. The chess game continues, and the moves made today will shape the world of tomorrow. I'll pause here and invite you to reflect on what we've discussed so far. Please let me know when you're ready to continue as we further unravel this intricate and thrilling geopolitical game. Please consider to subscribe, comment, and share this video. What we are witnessing on the world stage is not merely a series of economic transactions, but a grand chess game where oil is not just fuel but a tool of diplomacy, influence, and even defiance. If you recall, we were delving into the dramatic increase of oil trade between China and Iran against the backdrop of U.S. sanctions. But this is not just a simple business deal. It's a sign of changing alliances, a reshaping of economic and political landscapes. Let's delve deeper into this intriguing scenario. You see, China's actions are not arbitrary. In a world driven by energy needs, China's insatiable demand for oil has led it to forge relationships with countries such as Iran. And it's not only about filling a gap left by Western nations. It's also about building strategic alliances, about countering the U.S.'s influence in the Middle East, and about securing a stable energy future for a nation on the rise. China's strategy, then, is not merely reactive, but proactive, not just opportunistic, but visionary. They are creating a new narrative, setting the stage for a different kind of world order. What's the magic behind China's actions? Why are they able to build alliances that the West seems unable to break? Allow me to pose a question to you all. Why do nations like Iran turn to China in their time of need? Is it merely about economics? Or is there something more profound at play? The answer lies in understanding that China's approach is not solely about power, but about partnership. They stand with nations when they are most isolated, and in doing so, they build a bond that goes beyond transactional relationships. This has created not only strong economic ties, but also a profound political alliance. Let's look at the reconciliation between Iran and Saudi Arabia, two nations that were once at odds. The U.S. might have seen the division in the Middle East as an opportunity. China saw it as a challenge to be overcome, and overcome it. They did. They played the role of a mediator, of a bridge between two warring factions. They united what seemed divided, and in doing so, they have made the Middle East a stronger, more cohesive force. This united Middle East poses a new kind of challenge to the U.S. and the E.U.S. In the EU, the rise of China's influence in the region not only threatens the dollar's dominance, but also puts the Western nations in a strategic conundrum. The sanctions, instead of crippling Iran, have given birth to a new alignment of forces, and the U.S. seems to be at a loss as to how to respond. Sanctions, traditionally a powerful tool in the hands of major Western nations, appear to have lost their potency. They have not only failed to achieve their goals, but have also united what was once divided. A united Middle East, aligned with China, is not a mere nuisance. It's a formidable challenge. The U.S.'s response: more sanctions, more of the same. But the question arises, will this work? Hasn't history already shown that this path leads not to resolution, but to further division and conflict? It's time to accept a harsh truth. The era when the U.S. could unilaterally dictate terms to the world seems to be fading. The world is becoming multipolar, and new powers are rising. China's diplomacy, its shrewd use of economic power, and its ability to build alliances have created a new dynamic in international politics. What we are witnessing is more than a trade deal, more than a series of economic numbers. It's a seismic shift in the world order. It's a game of chess where the pieces are moving, alliances are shifting, and the rules are being rewritten. And in this game, China's moves are not mere reactions, but strategic masterstrokes. They have seen the game for what it is, and they are playing it brilliantly. We can choose to watch from the sidelines, or we can choose to understand, to engage, and to adapt. The choice is ours, but the game continues. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us